morangi ki mua ko te hāpai o ki muri. Kia tau I hōna mana ki tanga ki runga ki tēnā o tātā. E hōno re he kororia he mau ngā rongo ki runga ki te mato te whenua. E whakaro pai ki ngā tangata katoa. Arohaina ngā taina, me ngā tuakana, e noho nei, I rungi te whakaro ko tahi, pai mai.
Kia ora, please be seated. E ngā mana, e ngā reo, e ngā iwi o ngā hau e whā, tēnei aku mihi mahana ki o koutou, nau mai, hara mai, ki te whare nei, te whare o te kāwana tianara, ki whanganuiatara. Kia ora ana, talofa lava, malola lei, Nisambulivanaka, everybody, welcome. Distinguished guests, it is my pleasure to welcome you all to Government House, Wellington, for today's investiture ceremony. I'd like to specifically acknowledge Ms. Katie Nemon, who's a Member of Parliament, Ms. Bridget Ridden, who's General Manager of Ministerial Services. Lovely to have you. Mr. Joe Harawira, our kaumātua, and Ms. Pihiwahine Tibo, our kuia. Hosting investiture ceremonies is one of the most important duties I perform on behalf of His Majesty, the King of New Zealand. I'm delighted to bring together such an extraordinary group of New Zealanders. You have each brought pride and a greater sense of well-being to our country, Aotearoa New Zealand, through your outstanding achievements and your service to our communities. On behalf of all New Zealanders, I extend my sincerest thanks to you for your contributions. After each recipient is honoured, I invite you to join with me in congratulating them. Ms. Catriona McLeod will now summon the recipients and read their citations.
Your Excellency, to receive the insignia of a Companion of the New Zealand Order of Merit, Mr. Chris Seed of Wellington for services to the state. Chris Seed has had a 40-year public service career, latterly as Chief Executive and Secretary of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade, or MFAT, from 2019 until retiring in 2024. He led the government's consular response, trade recovery initiatives, and foreign policy engagements during the COVID-19 pandemic and its aftermath. He also oversaw international aspects of several complex consular and disaster responses, including to the 2019 Christchurch mosque attacks, the Whakaari White Island eruption, and Operation Whakahokina Mai, the latter a collaborative effort with the New Zealand Defence Force and other agencies, which enabled more than 1,700 New Zealanders and eligible Afghan nationals to depart Afghanistan following the August 2021 Taliban takeover. Mr. Seed was New Zealand's High Commissioner to Papua New Guinea and to Australia. Mr. Chris Seed, please come forward. Excellency, to receive the insignia of an Officer of the New Zealand Order of Merit, Mr. Richard Coon of Picton, for services to business and philanthropy. Richard Coon helped found the financial services companies Sovereign Assurance, Seniors Money and Partners Life. He was a business mentor from 1998 to 2020. He helped pioneer home equity release finance in New Zealand, allowing retirees to turn a portion of the value of their home into cash, and implemented an industry code of conduct for these products. He founded and chairs Angel Investors Marlborough, or AIM, which has invested $26 million into 67 companies to date. He has helped Angel Association New Zealand to develop advice and resources, and was instrumental in establishing the AIM Founders Network. Mr. Coon established the Laurie Coon Foundation, named after his father, which is a charitable trust that helps young New Zealanders achieve their aspirations with scholarships. Mr. Richard Coon, please come forward. Dr. Colin ODonnell of Christchurch for services to wildlife conservation. Dr. Colin ODonnell has been a scientist with the New Zealand Wildlife Service and the Department of Conservation, or DOC, since the 1980s, and is the country's leading expert in New Zealand long-tailed and short-tailed bats. He has contributed significantly to the protection of Canterbury's braided river system. He leads DOC's Threatened Species Research Workstream. He was contracted by Environment Canterbury to conduct an inventory of Indigenous bird life on Canterbury's waterways. He has participated in global bat studies and is internationally recognised for his publications. He has led DOC's Bat Recovery Group and heads DOC's Bat Threat Classification Advisory Team. Between 1987 and 2000, Dr. O'Donnell voluntarily compiled South Island and outlying islands bird sightings for publication by the then Ornithological Society of New Zealand, now Birds New Zealand. Dr. Colin ODonnell, please come forward. Your Excellency, to receive the insignia of a member of the New Zealand Order of Merit, Mrs. Bridget Kaka of Wellington, for services to the Cook Islands community. Bridget Kaka has been instrumental in Te Punanga o Te Reo Kuki Airani Incorporated for more than 30 years, a pioneering institution founded to address the decline of the Cook Islands Maori language and childcare accessibility. She has actively participated in the Wellington Cook Islands Society, the Pacific Islands Presbyterian Church in Newtown, where she serves as a deacon, and the Wellington branch of the Pacifica Women's Cultural Group. She has helped preserve Cook Island's cultural heritage through the revitalisation of traditional crafts, including Tuvaivai, a hand-stitched patchwork, and aim-making, a traditional Pacific adornment. Mrs. Kauraka's crocheted masterpiece, Kapu Teari Taviri Ia, is prominently displayed at Te Papa Tongarewa. Mrs. Bridget Kaka, please come forward. Mr. Rex Kerr of Paraparaumu for services to the community and rugby. Rex Kerr was a teacher at Colenso High School and Wairoa College and principal of Otaki College. He authored 5 books celebrating the history of the Otaki and Horowhenua Kapiti region. He held positions with the New Zealand Secondary Schools Rugby Union, including president, chair, secretary, and New Zealand team manager. He served as chair of the Hurricanes Youth Council and president of the Rahui Football and Sports Association. Mr. Kerr is a life member of the Horowhenua Kapiti Rugby Football Union, the Hurricanes Youth Rugby Council, the Manawatu Secondary Schools Athletics Association, the New Zealand Secondary Schools Rugby Union, and the Rahui Football and Sports Association. Mr. Rex Kerr, please come forward. Mr. Graham Smith of Waitara for services to horticulture. Graham Smith has been curator, horticultural director and director of Pukaiti Rhododendron Trust Garden. He built a specialised rhododendron collection, importing many specimens and establishing links with leading gardens in the United Kingdom and the United States. He led plant collecting expeditions to countries of origin, creating a significant global collection. He has served as Vice President of the International Rhododendron Union, has lectured internationally, and was fundamental to the development of the Massey University ex situ Rhododendron Conservation Project. He was the inaugural chair of the Taranaki Garden Festival. Now retired, Mr. Smith remains an active member of the Trust's Gardens Advisory Group and takes guided walks through the gardens. Mr. Graham Smith, please come forward. Mrs. Ali Todd of Wellington for services to equestrian coaching and water safety. Ali Todd has coached children of all levels across swimming, water polo, triathlon, kayaking and lifeguarding. She has coached swim teams nationally and internationally. She holds various positions with the New Zealand Pony Club, NZPCA, including branch head coach, district commissioner of the Wellington Pony Club, and the NZPCA Education and Development Committee chair. She's a qualified equestrian coach and examiner and has coached many others to become qualified. She developed the Swimming Teaching and Coaching Qualifications Framework. She has worked with Water Safety New Zealand to develop an infant and preschool swimming program. Mrs. Todd was National Education Manager of Swimming New Zealand. Mrs. Ali Todd, please come forward. Your Excellency, to receive the King's Service Medal, Mrs. Trish Boyle of Invercargill for services to the community. Trish Boyle has held numerous positions with Rotary, including President of Invercargill North Rotary and Rotary District Trainer, District Governor for South Island Rotary, New Zealand Trainer of Rotary Leaders, International Trainer, Chair of Rotary International Leadership and Training, and Chair of the Southern District Rotary Foundation. She chaired the Australia-New Zealand Rotary Conference and organised other events. She was the Rotary International President Representative to district conferences in New Zealand and Australia. She is a trustee of the Community Trust South. She was a Southland Regional Strategy Governance Board member. Mrs. Boyle is an Invercargill City Councillor. Mrs. Trish Boyle, please come forward. Mrs. Fay Taylor of Mosgiel for services to the community. Fay Taylor has been a member of Rural Women New Zealand, RWNZ, for 66 years, holding offices at local and regional level. Through RWNZ, she's helped raise thousands of dollars for women's projects. She was branch delegate to the 2023 RWNZ conference in Christchurch. She is president of the Momona Hall Committee, ensuring it's remained open for the community to use. She has been instrumental in maintaining the Otago Pioneer Women's Memorial Association Hall, acting as caretaker for many years. Mrs. Taylor has helped maintain the community garden at the St. John's Masonic Lodge in Mosgiel. Mrs. Fay Taylor, please come forward. Ms. Vicky Wood of Mount Maunganui for services to victim support. Vicky Wood has been a voluntary victim support worker with Victim Support New Zealand since 1999. She has supported the 24/7 call-out service to the public, personally covering shifts when volunteers were not available. She has supported victims of crime and their families by providing initial comfort, accessing information and guidance from government agencies, and ultimately supporting them through police, court, and coronial proceedings. She has undertaken specialist training to support victims of homicide, sexual violence, and suicide bereavement. She has mentored numerous new volunteers. Ms. Wood is also a volunteer driver for the St John Health Shuttle. Ms. Vicky Wood, please come forward. Your Excellency, the investiture has concluded.
Thank you. New Zealand's honours system is our highest public affirmation of outstanding individual achievement. It reinforces those things that make our society better: service, manaakitanga, and the pursuit of excellence. To our recipients, it has been a privilege to hear your stories. You have each used your talents and abilities to improve the lives of fellow New Zealanders. In doing so, you exemplify the sentiment expressed by the great American broadcaster, Fred Rogers, when he said, "Anything that we can do to help foster the intellect and spirit and emotional growth of our fellow human beings, that is our job. Life is for service." I urge recipients to wear your insignia with pride at every opportunity, knowing that you inspire others by your example. On behalf of the King of New Zealand and all New Zealanders, I congratulate you on your achievements, and I thank you once again for your service to our country. You will see on the back of your program the words to the national anthem in Te Reo Māori and in English. I now invite you to join with me in singing these. Kia ora.